G'day, welcome to Caravan and Motorhome Magazine's latest classic Australian journey, from Brisbane to the top end. On this trip we'll take you out through Toowoomba and along the Warrego Highway to Roma and Mitchell, and then northwest through Augathella and Blackhall to Barcaldine. We'll then cruise on through Longreach and Winton to a caravan christening at Kainoona at the Blue Heeler Hotel. And then from there, of course, it'll be up through Cloncurry and Mount Isa to the border town of Camberwell, where we cross into the Northern Territory. From there, we'll be crossing the Barkly Tablelands to the Stewart Highway, and then north through Mataranka and Katherine, and finally into Darwin. Our crew on this journey comprises me, John Ruth, Gil Schott, the editor of Caravan and Motorhome Magazine, Roy Weiss, the caravan designer from Sunland Caravans, and our advertising manager, Alan Golby, and his wife, Lisa. Right, well, come along because we're in for a heck of a good drive.
Okay, we've picked up the Kia. We're off on our big trip to Darwin, so we'll see you later on. Bye.
We're only a couple of hours into the trip and we've struck our first problem. This is Roy's 98 Patrol tow vehicle that we're using to pull the van. It's just overheated up this range. It's been a hell of a climb, which is no real surprise, but given everything else and given that this is the early part of the stage, early part of the trip, we really need to address this problem fairly quickly. We need to know what's going wrong. Now, I think, just having had a quick look at it, I mean, obviously it's boiled right over the limit here. Roy hasn't had the vehicle very long. He's had it checked out thoroughly. It came up very good. It's in beautiful condition visually. It seems to run beautifully. But I think the problem here is the hydrostatic fan. The reason I say that is because we can spin it fairly easily by hand. Now the vehicle is red hot, and yet here we are spinning this fan. We shouldn't be able to, not at this stage. That's enough to suggest that the fan's not turning as it's pulling up the hill, which means that it's not sucking the air through, because you can't rely on the road speed, obviously. We've been doing 40 km/h. What are we going to do in this stage? Well, the first thing we did was not to switch the car off. The reason we didn't switch it off is because we could see that it wasn't through loss of fluid. There's no great puddles underneath. It hasn't blown anything off. So it's still got its cooling fluid in there. It's not coming out the exhaust pipe. The best thing to do is to leave the engine run with no load on it. Just let the temperature gauge come back down into usable proportions. That saves you from cracking cylinder heads and blowing Welsh plugs and all the rest of it. We don't want to do that, do we, mate?
We certainly don't.
No way. What we'll probably do at Toowoomba, we'll probably have a look at picking up some spare belts, hoses, and maybe even another hydrostatic fan hub before we hit the outback. But I'm glad it happened now. We arrived in Toowoomba just in time for the annual Festival of Flowers. Toowoomba is a big, bustling Darling-Downs city, and it really does look good at this time of year. It's a terrific place with great gardens and well worth a look anytime. Last night we were yarning with a couple of people, as you do in caravan parks. They had a bit of an interesting story to tell. G'day Dave, Jan.
Hi mate,
How are you? Good.
Good to see you again.
So Dave, last night you were saying you've retired now, have you?
Yes.
Yeah? A bit of an early retirement?
Yeah, after 37 years in the Northern Territory, time to get out the humidity and the smoke and whatever, and see how the other half live. Jan and I sold the property and
you're off.
The new house.
This is it, and it's home on the road. It's pretty comfortable too, isn't it?
It is. It is. It's the top of the range that Region made.
Now, you've come down here. How long to get to Toowoomba from Darwin?
Actual travelling time, we did it in 3 days.
3 days, yeah. And do you know what the van weighs?
A little over 3 tonne.
A little over 3 tonnes.
All our gear in it.
Yeah, all geared up.
Yep.
And you've got a turbo Toyota Land Cruiser.
Turbo 4200.
Right.
Auto.
Yeah.
Perfectly matched.
Yes. Good combination.
Absolutely. It's a dream to tow. Stay on the limit of 100 kilometres an hour or 110.
Yeah.
And no effort at all. Absolutely perfect.
Well, talking about absolutely perfect and no effort, let's go and have a look inside
Absolutely.
this van, eh? Beauty. How long is it, Dave?
It's around about 28 on the outside.
Yeah.
Actual living area is 23 from the front to the vanity unit.
Gee, that's a big ensuite, isn't it?
For us,
Is it good?
Us not skinny people. We
Us non-skinny people, I know all about that. Yeah.
there's plenty of room to move in here.
So how long do you reckon this is going to be home away from home?
Probably about 5 years.
5 years?
5
yeah.
years.
Yeah, gee, you've got the comfort to do it too.
Quite easily, yeah. Not get sick of it in a hurry.
So 5 years on the road,
Yes.
you reckon? Yeah.
Yes,
Fantastic, mate. What a way to go.
absolutely.
Yeah, so she's 3 tonnes, eh? And, oh yeah, you're using load levelers, of course.
Yeah, home and race system.
Yep.
And using about half the chain.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
the vehicle's fitted also with airbags suspension.
Airbags at the rear.
Yes,
Yeah.
just compromise and gives extra load, car carrying capacity.
Yeah.
Which the van we can transfer the load out. We had the Bridge Autos Toyota in Darwin married the caravan, had the van and car together, and married the disc braking system, electric brakes,
Ah, righto. Yes.
and fitted with the maxi brake system.
Yes. This is an interesting idea, Dave. What have you done here?
Mate of mine in Darwin, he owns tailor-made shades
Oh, okay.
and had these custom made for the van. We had this fitted up before we left.
Oh, what a beautiful idea. And what do you do with it when you're on the road?
It folds in, fits in a shopping bag, in the boot, weighs, the whole shade system weighs no more than about 5 kilos.
Is that right? And you've got shades on the other side too,
Shades
so...
off the Domtech Annex,
Yeah.
which slide in and out and takes no more than 5 minutes to put them all up and down. It knocks, it's 100% shade. It knocks the heat right off the van.
Yep.
And if you're air conditioned, well, it's not working as hard.
Yeah, that's right. And what's that, a satellite dish, is it?
It's satellite. We're fitted up with 100 free-to-air TV channels.
Are you? Yeah.
So, like yesterday, if we were middle of nowhere, we would have had the grand final. And a lot of other mates.
Oh,
also,
yeah.
so.
I bet you'd have a lot of friends if you had the grand final yesterday. Good on you, mate. Where are you going to next?
Our next stop is into the Barossa Valley.
Oh, lovely.
And there for the wine festival.
Oh, yeah?
So around about late October. So
Fantastic. Thanks very much, Dave.
pleasure.
Good on you, mate.
Absolute
All the
pleasure.
best.
Thank you.
Just passed through Chinchilla. It's hard to believe that this area was once infested with prickly pear cactus. They reckon that there was 24 million hectares of countryside taken over by this pesky thing. And the way they beat it was to introduce a moth called the Cactoblastus moth. And back there at Chinchilla and Bonago, just before Chinchilla, that's where they raised these moths. They got them from Venezuela and got them by eggs, and raised the eggs, released them onto the prickly pear, and the moths and the grubs ate the prickly pear and cleaned it out. You can still see some prickly pear around the place, but nowhere near as bad as it used to be in the good old days. Good on you, Cactoblastus, you did us all a favour.